Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Charles McNamara here, ready for a great podcast. I really do want to thank you all for joining today. Today, I really can't goof around because I've got the boss on the podcast. We'll talk to Bruce Weiss in just a minute. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Charles McNamara. I'm the Director of Operations with Guardian Group Services. And today, we are going to take questions from all of the viewers. So if you have any questions, just please feel free to put them down below in the chat. We will pop them up in today's podcast. So the director of operations, right? What do I do? My job is very specific, but today's podcast, what we're going to talk about specifically is a new app that was created, and Guardian Group Services was the first to get approved to do online training. We literally do so much training all over New York State. We do training from Babylon to Brooklyn to Buffalo, you name it, we do it. You would book those classes online. We are an approved training school. And today, we're going to be talking to Bruce Weiss, the owner of Guardian Group Services. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Charles. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's like shout across the room, hey, Bruce, we're only an office away.
Right.
So I wanted to get you on one of these for a while, and this one is actually near and dear to your heart, and I've never learned so much about an app until this past week. I've been in the industry on the security training side for almost 2 decades, and I started as a security guard. I was a fire guard. I was a fire safety director. I was a director of security, and throughout the years, I wore many different hats. And when I first got started, there really was not a lot of technology to kind of help along the way in the industry. And one of the great things I think that you brought to the table was you introduced the FireGuard apps, which we'll talk a little bit about. For those who are interested, if you need help studying for a FireGuard test, we have you covered. The FO1 for impairments, the FO2 for shelters, the FO3, the FO4 for places of public assembly, the F60, the S95. We've got more to come. Those are in the app stores already. But I was really amazed. Like, that was some really interesting stuff, because a lot of the training and a lot of the focus and a lot of the products are always geared towards the field operation side, not the individual. Last year you and I had the chance to go to the ISC East trade show. I got to write an article. I thought that was really interesting. I always try to stay in the know, but as we walked that space, we saw a lot of different products out there, and you had, the foresight and the path. I'm creating an app. So tell the folks a little bit about you and your background, and good morning again.
Good morning. So, unlike Charles, I am relatively new to the security business. I ran various businesses over the last 25 years. I started Guardian Group about 6 years ago. And when I started it, I was working on a security-related project, really. And that's how I learned something about the security guard business. And I thought it was a good business to get into. But what I realized when I started it is that a lot of companies that were doing this for a long, long time were basically dinosaurs. And my intention was really to try to bring this business into the 21st century. Like Charlie mentioned, we were the first school to be approved to do the training online after COVID. And I couldn't see any other way to stay in business, really, because at that point, where we could normally have 35 people in a class with social distancing, we could have 5. And so that was a very quick way to go out of business. And during COVID, I think a lot of schools, especially, some of them in upstate New York, closed. So we started doing classes online using Zoom as the platform. And that really opened up the entire state of New York as a marketplace to us. So now, like Charlie said, we train people in Buffalo, Brooklyn, Syracuse. I mean, every place, upstate, downstate, midstate. We work with most of the major workforce organizations in New York City, And beyond New York City, we work with CBOs. We work with the Department of Education. We work with most of the major guard companies, corporate clients like Walmart, Nordstrom, and obviously a whole bunch of private individuals come to us for training. Um, and it's worked out well, Charlie. I think worked out well, and having Charlie on board, you know, also couldn't ask for a better director of operations.
Thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate that. I'm going to start blushing now. I'm going to get cherry red as my blazer in those trivia podcasts. If you haven't seen them, folks, check them out. We always do some serious podcasts, but we also have a little bit of fun as well. So I have a couple of questions, Bruce. I've got 5 of them on the day
Right,
because I know we have a pretty busy day lined up. But I wanted to talk a little bit first about these FDNY FireGuard apps and why you focused on creating these apps in the first place, because these were kind of the first apps to
right,
be released.
right. So when I first started learning something about the security business, I also learned that having a FireGuard certification was a very quick track to employment.
Hmm.
Really, if somebody had that, it's like Charlie says, it's in some ways it's like a golden ticket, because there were just so many guard companies in New York, especially New York City, really, that want their guards to have that certification.
Sure.
And a lot of people would go to the fire department, take the test, you know, not really being prepared for it. And so the idea of creating a app that literally replicates the experience they get at the fire department seemed like a good idea. So it really does. It gives them it gives them 20 questions. They have 30 minutes to answer it, just like the fire department. They can take the test as many times as they want. It'll always be slightly different, the questions.
Hmm.
They could check their history. And it's been downloaded thousands of times, and it's really made a difference, I think, in people
Sure.
being able to pass the COF certifications.
Yeah, we actually did a really deep dive this week planning for this podcast specifically. Thousands of people have downloaded the FO1, and we have a really good success rate. We have the app which they can kind of use on the go. We have a prep class to kind of help them along the way. This app for the My 8 Hour Annual app, very important. I'll talk a little bit just about my kind of experience in the guard world as a manager, as a director, and the importance of having something. This is a great compliance tool. So if you manage security guards, it's amazing how much this app is going to help you, because the focus really is on our end to help the individual security guard. Some people don't know the process of renewing a license, which is amazing, because a lot of training schools out there, they'll take a person's money, they'll give them a certificate and kind of send them on their way. Someone who's looking to get a unarmed security guard license, they have to do the 8 hour pre-assignment, and then they have to do fingerprints, and then they mail that to the state. Then they have to take the 16-hour OJT course, which is very important. But then once they get their security guard license, every year they have to take the 8 hour annual. And sometimes, and we see it too, sometimes individuals, they might accidentally book the wrong training class. Instead of taking the annual, they might book a pre-assignment. Sometimes they just get, the names mixed up, or they may not be tech savvy. So we like to take on extra work. We joke about this all the time. We do all the heavy lifting. If you're in the wrong class, we'll get you in the right class. We make it our job to do the training properly in accordance with state law. And we have so much follow-up information after the training classes. Free stuff on YouTube and on Facebook. We do giveaways. So it really is a great app that you should look into. Now, as a supervisor or a manager, or even as a compliance director, if you work in HR, you may not have the systems in place. Some of these systems are, tens of thousands of dollars to put into place. Um, we kind of help with that process as well. We like to act as an extension of your HR department, as your operations team, to help the individuals take that training when they are supposed to. We were talking about this week, actually, Bruce, and a question for you: why have so many guard companies partnered with us?
Well, I think, first of all, we do more training of security guards than anybody else in New York State at this point. So we have a continuous pipeline of guards coming out. And well, we get calls all the time from security guard companies. I need 100 guards. I need 50 guards. I need 80 guards. I mean, it's just endless. Um, I think also, why people come to Guardian Group in general for training is that, um, one, I am so focused on customer service,
Mhm.
right? If you call, somebody will answer the phone. If you email, somebody will respond. Customer service, I think, just goes a long way. We are honest, we are transparent, right? If you need something, we will help you get it. Um, our trainers are incredible, really engaging.
Mhm.
I think we've all seen trainers put people to sleep in the first 5 minutes. You will not find that with us,
That is so
right?
true. Yep.
We really take it seriously, and we also want people to learn something. We want
Mhm.
them to have a good time while they're learning it. So, I think for a lot of reasons, that's why guard companies come to us for training. That's why individuals come to us for training. That's why everybody comes to us for training. I think
Yeah.
we really just have a good product. It's for service, it's for team, and it's the customer service. It really is, I think.
We're getting a lot of hellos in the chat. I just wanted to acknowledge a couple of people. Jeff Douglas, good morning. Great guy. Hope you're doing well. Phil Morales, one of our trainers, is there. Hello, Phil. Hey, Tonda, good morning. John, hello. Ride the Wind, we see you as well. Good morning. A lot of questions coming in. We will get to them. We will talk about the armed process towards the end. So just hold off. We will definitely answer that stuff as well. You and I, Bruce, talk to New York State often as well about some of these bogus schools that aren't authorized to do it, or sometimes people counterfeit certificates.
Right.
I know that you take this stuff, very seriously, but it's important for the security guards to understand when you do training that you want to make sure that you do this with an accredited school. So always do your due diligence. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We provide a lot of different training in security, fire safety, construction with OSHA, with first aid. We do self defense. You name it, we teach it. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the app specifically, the nuts and bolts, right? What do they do? How does it work? Well, the first thing you got to do, folks, is you got to download this app. It's on the Google, Apple stores. You create an account, you get a discount by clicking on the top once you create your profile. Um, I've learned so much about app development this week. It's amazing. Thank you, Bruce, for letting me join you in that journey. So let's talk about the app because that's what everybody is here for. How does this work exactly?
Okay. So again, very simple. And again, the reason we created this app was because we would get phone calls all the time from
Mhm.
nervous guards, right? My license is going to expire tomorrow. What do I do? Well, your license is going to expire tomorrow because you waited till the last minute, to
Mhm.
do the renewal. And obviously, license expires, they get taken off the job. I think Charlie might have touched on this. The company then has to backfill the post. It costs the company, money in overtime. For so many reasons, this seemed like a really obvious need that could easily be satisfied. So we created My 8 Hour Annual, which is a security guard reminder app. And basically, what the app does is you sign up. Very simple to sign up. Takes maybe 2 minutes. You put in your name, you put in your email, you put in your uh, telephone number, you put in your expiration date of your license. Obviously, very important. Put in the expiration date of your license. And once you set up, the app will then notify you through text, through in-app notifications, through email. It'll notify you 90 days before your license expires, 60 days before your license expires, 30 days, day before, day of, day after, and I think 30 days after, actually. So,
Yep.
um, so really, very simple, very easy. It's a free app. I want to remind people the app is absolutely free to download. And once you are inside the app, once you sign in, you can book discounted classes online with Guardian Group right through the app. And we're doing classes pretty much 7 days a week right now.
Yep.
We have the 8-hour annual classes scheduled so that it really fits anybody's schedule. You can do it weekends, you can do it weekdays, you can do it mornings, you can do it evenings. And like I said, if you book the class through the app, which will take you directly to the 8-hour annual booking page on our website, you will get a discount. And again, just really easy way to keep your license current.
Yeah, I think I have it up here. Right, my camera is mirrored, so
Right.
I apologize, folks. Right, you can. I'm going to leave the QR codes up here, so you have, the Google Play Store link, the Apple Store as well. It's free. It's there. We just released it this week. We already have almost 1,000 people that have downloaded this and have taken advantage. We're teaching, almost every day of the week. Don't forget. Very important. We talked a little bit about this, and working as a director of security, I would run into these problems often where someone might work 2 jobs, they might be going to school, they just kind of forget. It's understandable, life happens, but for the company standpoint, the goal is always to avoid non-billable overtime. That's like such an important thing. They want to keep that person on post for a number of reasons, because if they have to remove a person, we did some calculations based on, if it was an entry level minimum wage, if a security guard company had to remove somebody and replace them with someone else, it might cost them on average about $1,000 per week. And that's non-billable overtime. So, we're trying to help the security guards, but we're also helping the security guard company. The other problem is for the actual individual security guard. If your license expires, you are getting pulled from the schedule. Some security guard companies might terminate you. And during that wait period, it might take that person 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 weeks to get everything back up to date and in order. So, we really are trying to help security guards remain on schedule, keep their training up to date, keep their security guard license up to date, because there's a lot of different factors that upset the client. If it's a contracted company, they might like you as the security guard at that post. They don't want somebody else there because you know the building and you know the people. So important that you stay up to date with that information. I've got a couple of other hellos. I want to just say, Cynthia, good morning. Good to see you. A big part of this project. Thank you so much for your help as well. We got Sherwood Muhammad. Sherwood, good morning. Always a pleasure to see you and work with you. All of our clients are jumping in, saying hello, Bruce.
Good morning, everybody.
They're going to think we don't work at all. They're just going to think we're hanging out on a podcast all day. So we talked about how the app works. You got to download it first and create your account. How much does this cost again? I just want to make sure I understand this.
The app is free.
Free. No money. No money down.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
No reason not to download this app.
Yeah, listen, folks, we are giving you the tools, right, to be successful. Security guard companies, if you need assistance with us with deployment, we're happy to do that as well. Also wanted to talk about, some of the other benefits to this app, and, why it's useful to them, why it's helpful to the guard companies, and even real estate owners and property managers, because they might have to manage people as well. And folks, if you have any questions, please feel free, put them down at the bottom. We will answer them. I know we have a couple about the other courses that we do, which we'll cover in just a second. But what are some of the other benefits of downloading this app? It's free.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You're asking me. Okay, I'm sorry. Do me a favor. Pop up the Apple Store QR code also for a bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. App is free. And again, like I said before, we are literally holding the 8-hour annual class just about every day of the week right now. Mm-hmm. And again, if you book the class through the app, you will automatically have a discount applied to the purchase. It'll take 10% off the purchase price automatically. And our prices are already very competitive. So that is really, the purpose of this app. Stay in compliance, make sure your license does not expire, and get access to discounted classes pretty much any day of the week.
We have people, we can kind of see the pop-ups, people downloading it and scanning it now. It's free. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your coworkers. Um, it's so important today's day and age. In the security industry, there are thousands of people looking for security jobs. So, companies are always hiring. They do want to keep, the same individuals at post. And, there are other training classes that you might be interested in. I did not forget you, Ride the Wind. You had a good question about something else that we offer. Um, Ride the Wind asks, how do I get a license to be a security guard with the ability to carry a gun? That's a great question. So there's two different licenses. I'm going to talk about both of them for you. To work as an armed security guard in New York State, to work as an armed guard in New York State, you have to have what is called the armed guard license. Now, that 47-hour class, that is something that we do offer. But to take that course, you do have to have a pistol permit. We also offer the concealed carry course. So if you're interested, that kind of would be the first step. Send us an email or give us a call after the podcast. We're kind of busy here, but once we're done, we will definitely take your call. The CCW course would be the first step. We offer that, Bruce, every month now, right? Every month we're doing a CC?
Every month we offer that class, yeah.
CCW is a very popular class. We try to be mindful of schedule, so we do them the first 2 Sundays of every month. And we have some great trainers who've been doing it for decades. They are the subject matter experts on that. I don't want to step on their toes and say something incorrect, but day 1 is kind of classroom training, and then day 2 is on the range, and it's a really good course, and everything is included, right? The weapon, the ammo, the targets, the safety gear. And then once you get that pistol permit, Ride the Wind, you would take the 47-hour armed guard course as well. Great question. So we have the links up top for the Apple Store. So if you scan that right there, take you right to the store. Or if you got Google Play, that's your marker right there for your QR code as well. Bruce, you talked about this earlier a little bit with COVID being one of the first schools to provide that training. How many clients, students do we have now, do you think, since transitioning to online?
Well, I think you know the numbers just as well as I do. I think we're training probably close to 300 students a week in various classes at this point.
Yeah. I'm definitely the numbers guy. I like to make sure, we kind of know where we are in our markers. That's just training that I've received from my previous jobs. We need to know our key performance indicators. We do training, right? And we have a lot of good contacts in the security guard industry. So if you are also looking for work as a security guard, as a fire guard, as a fire and life safety director, armed guard, security manager, whatever, we're happy to help get interviews with some of those guard companies as well, because security is not going anywhere anytime soon. Our most popular classes right now are the 8-hour annual, because that's something that you have to do every year. But today is another big one that we're doing. It's the F80 to work in shelters, and the FLSD course. We do that every Saturday, which is great. It's convenient, gives students time to study along the way. First aid is another popular class that we have been doing. People get to take that training, get certified, and get some life-saving skills. And it's free, Bruce, right? The app doesn't cost anything?
The app does not cost anything. No.
Just making sure. This app is free, folks. Check it out in your stores. Thank you so much, Bruce, for jumping on this podcast. Got another question. Rob Stevens. Rob's another fire safety guy. We got a lot of fire safety people in today. New York State should move to Century 21 and allow online. That's a great comment, Rob. Bruce, I'll let you talk a little bit about the renewal process and how that has to be done. How do people actually renew with New York State.
Right. Okay. So New York State does everything by mail, as we all know, right, Rob? Um, so I believe they will mail every guard a renewal form about 6 weeks, right? Maybe 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks before your license expires. They will mail you a renewal form. So you have to send in your $25 renewal fee, and you must be up to speed on your 8-hour annual classes. Very often, we get calls from people saying, "Hey, I did my class with you. I sent in the money, and they told me I didn't do a class." Well, it inevitably turns out that it's not the class that they did with us, it's the class that they did not do
Hmm.
last year. They
Yep.
missed a year. And so now, again, like Charlie said, it's going to take them a couple of weeks to get the license renewed, which again was really one of the reasons that we created this app, right? Really simple. Don't forget to renew your license. That's it. That's really what this is about. Um, so yeah, you send in your renewal form, and again, done by mail. They renew your license. But yes, I think we would all agree it would be great if the state would eventually move to an online system.
Hmm.
Because people move, right? They forget to tell DCJS or the Division of Licensing that they've moved, and they don't get the form for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Gets lost in the mail. That happens. So yeah, doing it online would be great.
Yeah, I think most people now are so used to are able to just email someone and kind of get a response. And we deal with this often, folks. People will say, well, I never got the letter in the mail, or they'll say, my company never told me. It is your license, it's your responsibility to stay up to date. But you know what, we want to be your guardians, and we want to be able to help you along the way. Download that app. It is free. One thing to remember as well, after you take the training, it can take them some time to update in their system with DCJS. They've then got to forward that to the Division of Licensing Services. So, just be mindful. Let us help you along the way. That app is free. Download it. Does not cost you anything. Cynthia, thank you for the kind words. We really appreciate that. There are so many kind words in the chat right now, and so many safety professionals and security professionals. Just want to thank you all for the job that you all do on a day-to-day basis. Um, Bruce, any parting words?
I love what you just said. We want to be your guardians, right? Help you keep your license in compliance. So,
Yeah, you give me a hard time with the shirts, but that's going on our shirt.
okay, sounds good. Listen, again, thank you, Charlie. Love everything you do. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Really, give us any feedback on this app. Okay, really, we just released it. Love to hear the feedback. You can give us that feedback at support@guardiangroupservices.com. But when you download the app, you will see that. So again, guys, thanks everybody for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
We got Patricia saying hello. Everybody's logging in late. If this was Zoom class, we'd be like, you're late. You got to get rescheduled.
Downloaded the app. Okay,
Good.
let us know what you think.
Okay. We've had a couple of hundred people download this already this week, and people have been taking advantage of the discounts. You should too. It's a great app. It is free. Does not cost you anything. Make sure you check it out in the Google Play and Apple stores. Please don't forget, create your account, log in, and book with a discount. Save yourself some money when you need to do your 8-hour annual. We are doing training all over New York State, so it doesn't matter if you're in Queens, Brooklyn, Long Island, upstate, Schenectady, anywhere. As long as you have a device, you can get in for training. Thank you, everyone.